Alright, so we're having a blizzard today, so I figured I might as well make some beef jerky. I went to the grocery store and I bought an eye-round roast. It's 3 pounds. The little trick is to put it in the freezer for maybe an hour, hour and a half, just to get it a little stiffer so it's easy to slice. And what I like to do is I just like to trim off the fat, because the fat is what will go rancid on you. So I just trim the fat off. Then I have a meat slicer. It's actually kind of important to have a meat slicer. Slices so that way you can get the nice thin slices. And you always want to make sure that you cut it against the grain, not with the grain. You can see the lines in the meat where the grain runs. If you cut it this way and then make jerky out of it, you'll never be able to chew it. So I have this little slicer. It's kind of a cheap little slicer, but it'll do the job. I'm going to slice it about an eighth of an inch thick. Alright, so that's that. Obviously you do it with a sharp knife, but you would want to get your meat a little bit colder. It'd make it easier to cut, and you probably have to put it back and forth into the freezer to keep it going that way. Alright, so now I got it all in a bowl. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it up to the sizes I want. I'll probably just cut all these in half so they're a little bit smaller. They're going to shrink a little bit as they dry out. Alright, so I think I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. I just cut it right in half. Put it right back in the bowl. Okay, as far as the recipe, sometimes I make it sweeter, sometimes I make it hotter, but I just kind of mix the ingredients together the way I like them. You could make them however you want. You like it spicier, make it spicier. Make it sweeter, make it sweeter. So I'm just going to show you the process, and you come up with your own recipe. I've come up with this one over a couple years. Actually, I've never made it with this fried chili paste. It's a product of Thailand. This stuff is pretty good. I put it in my soups. It's pretty spicy. You got to be pretty careful with it. So here's my basic process, though. What I do. First, I take some crushed red pepper. Like I said, you put as much as you want. Then I like the coarse black pepper, the restaurant style black pepper. Put a good amount of that. Garlic powder. Put the soy for the salt. And then I put the Worcestershire sauce. I like using the Lee & Perrins. You can use any other brand, but this is the one I like. Red hot. Put a little bit of this chili paste. I'm not going to go crazy because this stuff is pretty hot. It might look like I'm putting a lot of hot, like black pepper, red pepper, but it's really not that much once you disperse it throughout all the meat. Brown sugar, light brown sugar. That's good. And then I just add a little bit of, well, maybe half a cup of water, maybe not even that much, a third of a cup of water, just to help it mix. All right, very important when you mix it, you have to make sure you separate all the pieces of meat so they all get coated. If you don't, you're gonna have spots that don't have the seasoning, and that's not really what we're looking for. So take your time and mix it up. And like I said, I actually go through and I just separate each piece. It takes a couple minutes, but it's worth it in the long run. All right, there we go. We took the time and we got it all mixed up really nice. Now what I like to do is I like to just take it and I put it in 1 gallon Ziploc bag or whatever size bag you want. I'll put it in the refrigerator for a couple hours. Just let that seasoning seep in. Then I found with the Ziploc bag, I can push all the air out and then out. That's how I like to do it. Now I just get a clean bowl, I put it in there, then I'll put it in the refrigerator for a couple hours. I'll come back and I'll lay it out in the dehydrator and show you how I do that. Alright, so it's been about 2 hours. So I took the meat out of the fridge and I got my dehydrator. This is just one I bought at Walmart probably 25 years ago. I'm sure there's a lot better ones out there now. But this one does the trick. I said I don't use it that often, so it's alright. So now what I'm gonna do is it's just stacks of trays. I think there's 4 trays. So I probably won't get all this in one batch. So I probably won't do it all today. I'll do some today, some tomorrow. Like I said, it's time consuming because once you put it in the dehydrator, it takes quite a while for it to dehydrate. It's usually 4 or 5 hours. So now the trick is when you're laying it out, you want to make sure you lay it out nice and flat. You want to make sure that the meat isn't folded at all. And you also don't want it to overlap. If it does, it really it really won't dry out. Same thing if it's folded over. Take a long time to dry out. Alright, so you can see it's laid out nice and flat. Nothing's overlapping. And I like to leave a little space in between. And as the drying process goes on, I'll rotate the trays from time to time, like maybe every hour. And once the meat starts shrinking, I'll condense it onto less trays. I prefer to make my own jerky rather than buy it in the store because I don't know what they put in there. You look at the ingredients and a bunch of nitrates and stuff like that. I think this is better. Alright, so now I got it all laid out. I got probably 2/3 of the meat on this, so I'd say about 2 pounds. So as you can see, I got it all laid out. It's all nice and uniform. It's not folded over, it's not overlapping. So what I'm going to do is now just set it, and I'll leave it here, and I'll come back and check it in about an hour and a half, and I'll show you what it looks like after an hour and a half. We'll rotate the trays, and it'll probably be another couple hours after that it'll be done. But, like I said, there's a blizzard going on. I'm not going anywhere anyway. Might as well do this. So I'll check back with you in about an hour and a half. Alright, so it's been about an hour and a half. Let's take a look, see what we got here. Yeah, it's got a good start to it. You can see. Kind of got a little pellicle to it. Starting to dry. Just gonna kind of switch these around a little bit. So it's nice and even. Yeah, 'cause you can still see it's still really raw. It's still really wet, but it's definitely coming along. So we'll check it again in a little bit longer. Alright, so I'll see you in the next hour and a half. Alright, so now we're 4 hours in, and I'm gonna look at this. I suspect there's gonna be some that are ready to take out, and this one I'm gonna show you how condense on the trays. Yeah. So now this is like a little thicker spots, it's still a little too moist. So I'm gonna hold off on that one. That one's good. You want it still pliable, you don't want it to break. I'll probably be able to condense this down to maybe 1 tray. And then it'll probably be just another 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then it'll be all done. So I take them, I put them on the cooling rack so they cool down. And once they cool down, then I'll put them in the Ziploc bag and I'll keep them in the fridge. Or you can keep it in the freezer too, it'll last longer in the freezer. Alright, so I got it all down to 1 tray. Got it all down to 1 tray. I'm gonna finish drying this, maybe another 15-20 minutes, then it'll be a done deal. So I'm gonna let this cool, let that finish, I'll come back, I'll show you how I package it up. Alright, so the 20 minutes is up. I'm gonna take the rest of this jerky off. We'll weigh it, see what we end up with. That'll be a wrap. Alright, so I usually just take the Ziploc bags and I just put whatever I want in there. Like I said, I usually give most of it away, so I'll keep a few pieces for myself. So we have 15.3 ounces. I did eat 2 pieces, so call it a pound. So you get about a 1/3 yield once it dehydrates down. So you get a whole pound of jerky. I spent $25 on the piece of meat, and I had most of the stuff in the house to make it already. So I didn't really spend much on it. But like I said, I know exactly what it is. There's no additives, no secret ingredients. It's just beef and seasonings. So there you have it. There's the Blizzard Beef Jerky 2026. Once again, I don't claim that it's shelf stable. I keep it in the refrigerator. Although it might be shelf stable, I don't know. It doesn't last very long around here anyway. Usually going within 3 days. So there you have it. Enjoy. If you like the video, you see how easy it is to make beef jerky. It's just about 45 minutes worth of work, and then 4 hours of just check it from time to time. That's all you got to it. That's all there is to it. So, till next time.